Hello and welcome to another episode of Wheel of Horror, the podcast where two best friends spin a wheel once a week. It chooses a horror film and they discuss it. Today we're talking the best sequels in horror history. So we're just going to be basically going back and forth. We've each made a list of our top 10 horror sequels. And we're just going to kind of discuss them, debate them a little bit, and at the end we should have one decisive winner of the best horror sequel.
Can I be Trump and you be Joe Biden? And we're just like, come on, man. And I'm like, no. Sleepaway Camp 2 is the best. Like, can we just talk like that the whole time?
I mean, people would hate it.
You do a good Joe Biden impression.
No, everybody does a good Joe Biden. It's just,
all right.
It's just old. I mean, what did he say? I just saw him on the news. He was just like, we're talking to people yesterday. And then just trails off and walked away. I don't know. Oh, it was on the Daily Show. Yeah. He just like trailed away as they were talking to him. Anyways, doesn't matter. But yeah, so we won't be doing presidential.
No, we're not doing that. Even though it could be fun someday. Maybe we'll pencil it in. Let's go. All right. So I don't have a coin, but I have a coaster that I have at my desk. Heads or tails for who goes first? Alec, heads or tails?
Tails.
It's heads. So I go first. All right, that's bullshit. All right. Was not expecting. I was hoping to go last because last is always the cooler one. So I'm going for my 10-1, right?
So the one that you're going to start with is your lowest rated sequel. Yeah. And then, so that'll be 1 point. And then the highest rated sequel will be 10 points.
I like it. And I didn't send it to you on purpose because I wanted to surprise you with some things. Yeah. So 10, I'm going to give it to Evil Dead Army of Darkness. Deserves a lot. It's a great film. What do you think?
Yeah, so here's what I think we should do. You go through your list, but give a brief overview of why you chose that film in that order for that list, and then I'll do mine, and at the end, whichever ones we have on there that are the same, maybe we can debate them, or just, have a debate either way. But yeah, why don't you go through your whole one, though, and go through my whole one.
Let's do it. All right, so I'm going to start with number 10, Army of Darkness, Evil Dead sequel. What a great film. How do I describe it? Such a pivot from the original. It's so much fun. We actually covered this one 3 years ago. It's a great episode. It's one of my favorite ones to re-listen to. So Army of Darkness, number 10, one of the best horror sequels, top 10 in my book. Number 9, this will surprise you, Alec. Child's Play 2.
Whoa.
I know it surprised you because we just watched it, but I literally gained so much love for Chucky and Child's Play watching the sequel more than the original. One, because it is a great sequel, but two, because there's so many comparisons with Terminator 2 Judgment Day. And Child's Play 2 came out before Terminator 2, and it's literally the same film, almost, in my mind.
And shameless plug, go watch our animated version of that podcast.
Oh my goodness. Yes. And Alec, you worked so hard on that, and it's so cool. So if you're a Chucky fan, a Child's Play fan, just go watch that. It's so fun to watch. I watched that 3 times, and maybe that's why it made it on the list. I don't know. Number eight, it deserves to be higher, but to me, 28 weeks later, great concept. Following up with 28 days later, and it just knocks it out of the park. I think 28 weeks later does a great job, not only as a sequel, but reinventing, but also showing the fans of 28 Days Later what it would be like. It's just such a cool concept to think from a day to 28 weeks. So love 28 Weeks Later. I want to rewatch it right now. 7, this might come to a surprise to you, Alec, too, but we did this one about a year and a half ago. I know it was in our October Wheel 2022 or 2023. Psycho 2. Psycho 2 is highly underrated. It's like a 20 to 30 year difference between the two. It's kind of like Top Gun to Maverick. I think Quentin Tarantino also said it's one of his favorite films. Am I wrong? Can you correct me there, Alec? What did he say about that?
No, I think he said he thinks it's better than the original Psycho.
Which is wild. Yeah, it's a wild take, but it is a great sequel, and it's really cool to see what happens to Mother and everyone. And number 6, more of a fun movie, but I had to put it on my list. Addams Family Values.
Oh my God.
I had to do it. I didn't have a choice. I love it. I love the horror, everything with it. with Christina Ricci. I mean, it's a fun movie. It's like my go-to. I watch it every year around Halloween. It's always on Freeform, which used to be ABC Family. Now it's Freeform. Yeah, one of the greats, and it deserves to be on the sequel list if you ask me.
And fun fact, ABC Family used to be Fox Family.
Yep, boom goes the dynamite.
Sorry,
Monopolizing as we go in this podcast. Number five, we're halfway through my list. I was really fighting for the five spot, thinking in my head, but Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
whoa.
I know that's a wild take, and that
Yeah.
I have only. I'm just gonna say this. I didn't put Halloween 2, the original sequel, but Halloween 3 deserves so much praise for trying to be doing something different, but also still being iconic and making its way into horror culture. I think it's phenomenal, and since we've recorded it, I fell in love with it.
Damn.
Yeah, wild. My list is like I'll paraphrase this. I trusted my gut. I did not redo this. I did this list and I said, this is it. I'm not changing anything. Aside from Adam's Family Values, which I bumped up a little bit. Number four. So we got four left. Dawn of the Dead, 1978. God damn, is this movie good? It's so good, Alec. With the helicopter, with the mall scene. Man, did so many movies just come from this movie. And the fast zombies. I think this movie invented fast zombies or brain eating zombies. What did it invent?
No, Fast Zombies is the actually it's 28 days later, but
No, but this movie was the first one to do that.
no, this one was slow still. The 78 version.
Oh, wait, what am I saying? Dawn of the Dead. No, they're fast in the mall, right?
So there's the 78 version, which is the original one, which they're not fast, and then there's the 2004 remake with Zack Snyder, which they are fast, and they're both in the mall. So which one?
You know what? I'm gonna give it to the 1978 one just for doing the mall.
No, they both do the mall.
No. Just for inventing the mall, doing that one.
Okay,
Yeah, but 2004, that's gonna get a special shout out. I also have other special shout outs and ideas afterwards. Number three, we're getting down now.
Yeah.
We're getting to my top three, and thanks to Don Berger, who's a reoccurring guest on this show, I cannot express how much this movie means to me and how much I fell in love with it. We did this on like July 4th, 2021, I think, for the 4th of July 100-year anniversary of The Shining. But Doctor Sleep, god damn, what a sleeper of a movie. What a underdog, what an underappreciated movie. How did this movie not become one of the best horror movies? Doctor Sleep. What do you think, Alex?
And we're not done with your list. Let's keep going.
All right, keep it going. But Doctor Sleep is up there. Number two, I fought with this one too, but this has to make the list. Aliens. Bill Paxton, Sigourney Weaver. This is how James Cameron does sequels, and he knocks it out of the park. And Aliens, not only is it the best horror sequel, but probably one of the best sequels of all time. And then my final answer, technically a sequel, and you can fight me to the end of the day. My movie theater experience with you, Alec, was phenomenal in Brooklyn when we were at the, I believe it's called the Apollo Theater.
Alamo.
Yeah, Alamo. You know exactly what I'm going to say. Halloween 2018, direct sequel to Halloween 1, 30-something years later. God damn, man. I was blown away by how they did that first film. Loved it. So, to me, with how it went, I'd say Halloween 2018 deserves a top spot on the sequel list.
Yeah, it's definitely a sequel. I'm not going to argue that at all.
That's my number one.
Yeah.
So fight me.
All right. So that's your whole list right there laid out?
Yeah, what you got? You got the coin flip, which is bullshit because now you get to make me look bad.
No.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, I wrote yours down as we were doing it too. So it's funny. Like some of ours are similar and some of ours are very different.
Yeah. Okay. I'm so excited to hear yours.
And actually, it's pretty interesting kicking off my number one, like my lowest one is actually very high on your list. So let's go. All right.
Okay, go for it.
So my lowest sequel is Aliens, which I love. That doesn't mean it's bad just because it's number one on this list. That means like, damn, it was like this spot. I went through a bunch of other ones that I was going to put here, but fuck, Aliens took it. I like it because, yeah, it takes the story in a new direction. Alien 1 is like a haunted house in space. This one's definitely like kicking up the action. It's really cool. Brings Ripley back, continues her story 50 years in the future. So it's like, okay, it's more of a sequel of her character as opposed to like the original story, which I like. Well, I guess the Alien, I don't know, whatever.
I think it's longer than 50 years too.
Something, yeah. I don't, it's a long time, but yeah, it's a huge time jump. And yeah, James Cameron's career was like solidified from this. I mean, Terminator came out, everyone's like, that was good. This is his follow-up. It's like, holy shit. And then Terminator 2, and then Titanic, and yeah. So this was like, okay, he's not messing around.
I'm just happy they made your list, but yeah, that deserves to be credited for sure.
Yeah, so that's my number one, the lowest. So, all right, number two is Friday the 13th Part 6. You know, and I noticed you didn't put any Friday the 13th on here, Eric, which I thought was interesting. This one, yeah, you know, this was kind of interchangeable between this one and Aliens. I like this one because it definitely establishes Jason as zombie Jason. It takes us into that new side of the franchise where Jason is like this fucking unstoppable beast. It's not Kane Hodder yet, but I like it. I also like that they kind of they course corrected. Like the fifth one was like, "Who is this killer? It's not Jason." And then people were pissed. Course corrected with six and got back on track.
Is that the Corey Feldman one? Which one's this? So sorry.
I don't know if you were on for this one. I think you were. No.
I don't think I was. I don't think I was. I don't think I was. Keep going.
Yeah, it's when Jason gets brought back from the dead. So it's yeah, I like it because it's the introduction of zombie Jason. Yeah.
Interesting.
All right, number three. This one's maybe controversial, but probably not. Scream 2. I like this one because I kind of thought like the first one was such a huge hit, and then you know in the 80s when they would do this like an immediate follow-up, the sequel usually was like definitely not as good, or you know you could see like I don't know, we'll see what happens with this franchise. But I thought Scream 2 is pretty freaking good. It's high up there, and it was cool to see like a 90s franchise continuing so quickly and continuing to do well. And I also love that the same writer, same director, and same cast all came back. So I really love that. All right, so then we got 28 Weeks Later. I just love this movie. Yeah,
Yeah, we got a match. We got a match. Another match.
we have a few. But yeah, I love this one. I remember seeing this in theaters in 2007 in Florida with my dad and my brother. I had the poster from when I worked at Hoyt's. Like, I just love this movie.
It's so good for that time too. Like, goddamn, such a good movie.
It's such a huge crush on Imogen Poots, the girl who's in this and the Fright Night remake.
Who's our age? Like, so yeah,
Yeah, she's older than us.
yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah, really good movie. It's got the British Nomar Garcia Parra lookalike. You know, I just love it. I just love it. All right, number five. Number five is another one that you have, Psycho 2. Yeah, man, this one really surprised me. Like, I never had seen it before, you know, the podcast, which, you know, we did that one, the third one, so we'll continue, I'm assuming. But yeah, huge shoes to fill, and it does, for the most part. It really does fill this really cool idea for a sequel, expands on the story, really gives Norman a character arc where it's like he's not just a killer, he has moral conflict within, and I love how it brought back the original actor who played the sister and all that, like, just cool, you know, and having Meg
Yeah.
Tilly's sister, like, I don't know, it just, I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, and honestly, Anthony Perkins' acting is fucking phenomenal in this movie, in Psycho
Yeah.
2. Like when he's in the diner and he sees the person come in and he's like scared. Remember that scene?
Yeah, he's like, fuck.
He's sweating. Like, how do you act sweating?
I mean, they probably sprayed him. Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
but like it looked amazing. So that just deserves one of the top spots too. Yeah.
I mean, if you like sweaty acting, you should look at Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise in every 80s movie, just covered in sweat.
But yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point.
All right, so Psycho 2, yeah, yeah, I definitely enjoy that. That's my number five. And moving into number six, another kind of surprise for you, Eric, that I thought you would have had one of these for sure. But I have New Nightmare on here as number six. And I think this is like a really nice return to form. You know, it's kind of like the first introduction to meta horror, which, you know, we get with Scream 2 years later, but Wes Craven kind of like, you know, pioneering that a little bit with a character that he created. Love that he comes back. Love that Heather Langenkamp comes back as Nancy. John Saxon comes back. It's just cool. It's cool to see.
I'll say my 2 cents right now. I'm so upset I didn't pick a Freddy or a Jason film on my list, but it's only because I love all the sequels, and it's like
Really?
it's like Sophie's Choice, dude. I can't pick them. Like New Nightmare is transcending. It is great, but I had trouble deciding. Like, I'm like, well, I like Lar Park Lincoln and Freddy and Fred. I like, well, Fred, that's great, and the Freddy vs. Jason. I've really had a hard time, so I just left them out.
Hey, listen, I get it. I get it. It was tough for me. There were so many movies I was like, fuck. But yeah, New Nightmare, I love, you know, it's just cool. And I think it was one of probably Freddy at his scariest.
You'll never see another movie like New Nightmare. There's not, I mean, Scream, but that doesn't count because that's Wes as well.
Yeah, I mean it's well, but even New Nightmare is different because it's already an established lore that they're like stepping outside of, and I think that like that's even different than Scream 2. The only thing that makes it similar to Scream is that it's meta, it's referencing stuff, it's self-referential. So, but it's like a different type of meta, so it's cool. Yeah, I love it, and I love we get to see Robert Englund again, just killing it. So good for him. Number seven, A Nightmare on Elm Street 3: The Dream Warriors.
Yeah, god damn.
Dude, I can't believe you didn't have that.
If I had to pick a sequel, that'd be the one. That would be the one.
Dude.
Not New Nightmare, Dream Warriors.
Yeah, mine's above Dream Warriors. I mean, I'm sorry, mine's above New Nightmare. But yeah, man, this one's so good. Like, I think it's the best of a franchise sequel. I don't know. That came out like when it was popular, like in the 80s, better than any Friday the 13th sequel, better than any Halloween sequel in the 80s. Like this one for me is like, damn, they really nailed this one. We've talked about it a lot, so I'll move on. Number three, my top three here. Yeah, you're going to be interested by this. So, Dawn of the Dead, 1978.
Yep.
I agree. Like, it's just like, the original one was so iconic, and this one just expands on that lore, but like doesn't even need to reference the original one at all. Like, we totally get it. There are zombies, and this is just another place where the same thing is happening. And it just makes it bigger and badder. And you know that the love and the care from George Romero went into this.
Yeah, I mean the same thing with Psycho 2. Like you have shoes to fill. Can you fill them? And it did.
Yeah,
And it deserves that praise.
and it's not as large of a gap. It's only, I think, 10 years from Dawn of the Dead or from Night of the Living Dead to Dawn of the Dead. But still, like, yeah, it's still like that's such a huge movie in those 10 years. Love the characters, and the music is so good by Goblin.
Yep.
Love the music. Yeah. So, anyways, Dawn of the Dead, I think, is a very kind of like underrated sequel in a weird way. It's kind of just like lumped in with zombie movies. I don't think people are like, that's a sequel to Night of the Living Dead. Also, it was in color. It was like a big choice to make the movie in color as opposed to black and white again. Anyways, all right, my top two.
I'm like thoroughly excited for your top two because I have no fucking idea at this point.
Well,
I'm gonna assume an Evil Dead. I'm gonna assume an Evil Dead, but continue.
oh, all right, you're gonna be surprised, I think. So my number nine, so my second to top choice is Halloween 2018.
Oh wow. For real?
Yeah, it's my second one. Yeah, I think it is probably the most successful retconning of any horror film I've ever seen. Just no other franchise has done it where they've just kind of erased the past and just kind of started fresh again, and it has worked so well. And I love that. They set up the trilogy really well. They didn't land they didn't land it, but they set it up very well, kind of like Star Wars.
Yeah, they set it up exactly like sequel trilogy. Yep.
Yeah, and it paid a lot of respects to the originals. Nobody was kind of forgotten. Nobody was like, got a shaft or anything like that. Like they did a good job. So yeah, I really enjoyed the Halloween 2018 sequel. And my number one spot, the number one,
I'm gonna turn my mic on. Give it to me.
Doctor Sleep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
mean,
fucking love it. You know what, man? Yeah, it deserves it. It deserves it. Really.
it's just same thing as Psycho. It's like this
God
massive time
damn.
gap. It was 29 years between The Shining and Doctor Sleep.
I know.
And it's such a really good building on a character. Like it's almost like Dragon Ball Z, where like Gohan was young and then became, whatever he becomes later in Dragon Ball Z. But like Danny Torrance is a small little character who then becomes this fully fleshed out, developed character, better than anybody in The Shining. Yeah.
I just think it's beautifully written. I mean, I didn't read Doctor Sleep. I have the book. I need to read it, but talking with Dom on that podcast was so eye-opening with everything. And how it actually ended in the book is totally different than this.
Yeah.
And hearing that, I'm like, I appreciate this movie so much more. I highly recommend if anyone's a Shining or Doctor Sleep fan, listen to our podcast from 2 or 3 years ago. It's one of the ones I go back to and listen to all the time, to be honest, Alec, because I fucking love that movie. Doctor Sleep is so good, so underrated. I'm so mad it didn't do what it needed to do at the box office because it deserved to do that. Ewan McGregor, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. No, it's really they nailed it. And there's a director's cut, so there's an even longer version. Mike Flanagan's the director who did The Haunting of Hill House and The Bly Manor. He's done a bunch of these horror shows for Netflix. He's great.
That's a great list, and we're not far off from each other, aside from the slasher Freddy and Jason movies.
Well, I'm trying to think, does Doctor Sleep win? Because that's my number one.
I mean, here we go. Here we go. Let's look. Let's look. So your number one is Doctor Sleep. I got Halloween as my number one.
I think what's your number two?
I don't have it up right now. Do you have it?
It's Aliens. Okay, so dude,
Fuck.
Halloween 2018 actually wins.
Technically, which it deserves as well, and I think it will stand the test of time. However, I'm gonna reel it back and change my answer right now a little bit.
Whoa.
Halloween was amazing as a sequel, but the trilogy of the Halloween Ends and Halloween Kills, or Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, kind of ruined Halloween for me because I was expecting so much more. And I don't want to let another movie ruin the movie, but I am comfortable saying Doctor Sleep deserves to win. I am
Wow.
comfortable. I'm comfortable with that if you are.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think you saying that too about Halloween, it's like the thing is, unfortunately, the sequels do impact how good the original one is because the
Yeah.
setup is a part of why the Halloween
Yeah.
2018 is so
Yep.
good. So if the payoff's not that good, then you retroactively go back. Dude, I do the same thing with Force Awakens. I go back and I'm like, yo, like this movie's not bad in 2017. It's horrible, or 2015 or whatever.
15. Shit.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
horrible now. But that doesn't, I don't know. Halloween 2018 is still like it's fucking great.
I wish they. I mean, maybe COVID and everything had a problem. They messed with
No.
everything. Who the
Oh,
fuck knows?
you mean oh, right. Yeah, yeah.
Who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? But
Yeah.
I gotta say, I think, man, it's almost like I kind of wish we could redo the sequels to Star Wars, redo the sequels to Halloween 2018. Like, I really think that would be cool.
Yeah.
But it's too late. You do it.
It's decided then. The Wheel of Horror is decided.
Doctor Sleep. You got my
Yeah.
sign of approval, Alec. I agree. Love that fucking movie. I can't wait to tell Dom too.
Yeah, I know he'll be pumped. I do have five honorable mentions of things that didn't make the list.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, dude, you mentioned one that I was like, fuck, I don't know if I should put this on here, but I don't love Evil Dead 2 like some people do.
That's what I thought, man. That's what I know you are is that your favorite horror film?
No, I love the original one. Like
Yes.
it's in my top five. And I like the sequel too. Like I don't not like Evil Dead 2, but like, I don't like the comedic tone sometimes. I don't like how it was kind of just like a remake with a bigger budget. Like it didn't, I don't know, it didn't have the same grip on me as the original one did. Not to say I don't like it. I like Army of Darkness too, but I just love the original one. So it was tough for me to put that on the sequel list. Jaws 2, I like Jaws 2. No,
Jaws 2.
it's not bad.
I thought of it as well as an honorable mention.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you know what? They're just trying to get the magic of the money again.
No, they're just saying like, hey, we made a fuck ton of money on this. And I also recently saw a post about Brody and Hooper making it to shore. I never knew they made it to shore. There's actual like if you watch the credits of
Yeah, they
Jaws,
swim away. Yeah,
no, they make it to shore.
yeah, and they walk away at the on the beach.
Never saw that until recently.
Oh, really? Yeah,
I
yeah,
just thought it was a shot of the beach, and then
no,
you watch it, and they make it.
yeah, sick. I love that. But yeah, so Jaws 2 is like, it's the best of the sequels for sure for Jaws, but it's like, is there really gonna be another shark attack on that island like this? I don't know. It's crazy.
But it can't be Jaws. Jaws is the name of the shark, and this has to be like a different Jaws. Like, are we literally saying Jaws 2?
It's just back. Yeah, I mean, I
Isn't another name like this Heath's?
well, we're gonna cover it on the next wheel, but if I remember correctly, I think it's like the one that died had like sonar abilities and put out like a sign to like other sharks. I think that's what they say. I think we'll find out. We'll find out because I can't remember.
Well, yeah, I'm very excited to watch that. Yeah.
All right, my last three here really quick. Phantasm 2. Dude, Phantasm
God
2.
damn. Yeah. 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 I mean, if they had the original fucking actor, yes, but they didn't.
That's my main complaint is that they don't have Mike. But yeah, I mean, like it's like Evil Dead 2. My complaint was that a lot of it is just kind of like a remaking of the first one, whereas Phantasm 2 is like, no, it's totally different. We're continuing the story, and I love it. I really like Phantasm 2. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, which is also on this new wheel. Yeah, it's cool. Takes the franchise in a totally different direction. Has the original director coming back to just be like, it's a comedy now. And yeah, it's interesting. So we'll talk about that in the upcoming weeks. My final one, I hate my fucking life that I haven't seen this movie. I'm embarrassed. And I know that it's great and I haven't seen it.
Have I seen it?
I will find out. Exorcist 3.
It's great, man. Honestly, it's way better than two. It's way two sucks compared to three.
I know. I've never seen 3 and people say it's like amazing.
It's a good sequel. It is a cool
I'm
sequel.
so
Yeah.
mad I haven't seen it.
Can we
So
put it on a wheel like for summer? We should.
yeah, I really want to watch it.
Let's lock it in for summer. Let's swap something out because it's pretty decided at this point. But yeah.
Yeah, we'll get it soon. We'll get it soon.
Well, I don't have any honorable mentions aside from Gremlins 2, which it just deserves a shout out.
That's the only one.
I know, but I do have like four quick movies I want a sequel for, and I know one of them is happening. One, I would love to see a sequel to Tucker and Dale versus Evil,
Oh yeah.
and they're just still as stupid. But like, where would they go? Like, imagine them at like in Paris or like Tucker and Dale in Paris or something like a werewolf in Paris. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
They could have fun. They could have so much fun with that shit. Trick or Treat 2. You remember that film?
Yeah, I can see them doing that.
Very, very Halloween specific. Apparently, it's off the ground, but it hasn't come to fruition yet. It Follows.
Oh yeah.
They are doing that.
Yeah.
We just saw what's her name, the main star of It Follows, tweet out that they are doing They Follow. To me, that's one of my favorite horror films of ever. I love it. I love it. And you love it too, Alec.
Oh yeah, that'll be exciting.
Yeah, I cannot wait for that, and I'm so excited. I feel like it's gonna be the Terminator 2 of horror. I really do. I have a good feeling. And then Midsummer, I would like to see, not now, in 25 years, in 30 years, a Midsummer 2. If Ari Aster is still alive and not doing shrooms every day, and just yeah, I would love to see Midsummer 2 if that ever happens with Danny today. Florence Pugh playing Danny again.
Yeah, Flo Pug, she's coming back as like a 50-year-old woman, yeah.
Or she hit 70. Imagine they do it and she's 70. That'd be fucking cool. And she has to like do the thing where she jumps off the fucking,
Ooh, yeah. Maybe.
I mean, hell yeah, sign me up. That's my take, but that's all I got. My honorable mention is Gremlins 2, though.
Gremlins 2. Yeah, I didn't think of any movies to make sequels to that I've always wanted to. I wish I did.
Oh, so I was looking up. I was like, wait, there's a Trick or Treat 2. No, there's not. Oh, no. God,
Yeah.
that's what I want.
Well, since like Black Mirror came out, they haven't really made a horror anthology movie in a while.
I know.
Creepshow's also on Shudder, the TV series is actually really good,
Yeah.
but that's not a movie. Yeah, I haven't seen a horror anthology movie since Trick or Treat. Oh no, VHS. I saw VHS. Yeah.
I haven't watched VHS ever, so I gotta watch that one.
You might like it. It's a found footage. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay.
We've talked about that too. Like that was when my daughter was being born, and you were like, yeah, don't worry about watching that one or whatever.
Yeah. So that's basically it. I mean, we've just finished our sequel wheel.
There's great sequels out there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Not knocking anything, but I think Doctor Sleep deserves the crown and deserves the praise and deserves way better box office than what it got.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you like The Shining, I'm assuming you've seen it. Like you wouldn't ignore it. And I think a lot of people would agree. Like it's not a bad sequel. It doesn't hurt the original one. Even the things that you're kind of like, oh, they have that guy they have the kid from E.T. playing Jack.
Do you think you have to watch The Shining to watch this one?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I mean, you don't ever have to do anything, but I think you would be doing yourself a big disservice if you didn't see the original one. Like most things wouldn't have an impact.
I think that's what probably hurt it.
No, you know what hurt it? This is exactly what hurt it. It's the same thing that hurt Blade Runner. It's the same thing that hurt Tron. When you have something that's kind of like a cult following at the time and then becomes larger with time, the built-in audience isn't going to be like a Star Wars, or like something like that. So the same thing, like Tron 2012 or 2010 came out.
Yeah.
I fucking love that movie. I was like, oh, here we go.
I fucking thought it was great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this is going to be a new franchise, and then it just petered out. Like, not enough people saw it. Same thing with Blade Runner. Blade Runner 2049 is a masterpiece. Like, such a good film. And now it's the same director that's doing Dune. So you're like, all right, clearly this guy knows what he's doing. So anyways, that movie's amazing and also did not do well at the box office. And yeah, Dr. Sleep. So, it's for the fans and it works.
Also, I mean, here's one that did do well: is Top Gun Maverick. Like, crushed it.
But that was never niche. Like that was a huge movie in the 80s. You know, Blade Runner was not big when it came out, and neither was The Shining. The Shining was panned.
Cult following sequels after 30 years are tougher than box office blockbusters
Yeah.
after sequels after 30 years.
Yeah.
100%.
So like, they do a sequel to Rocky or whatever, it's going to be huge because that movie was huge when it came out, but Blade Runner was a flop when it came out. Anyways, yeah, so that's our sequel wheel, and we're gonna not restrict ourselves in this upcoming wheel. We've decided on 10 new films that we're gonna put on here, and they're just all over the spectrum. Some summary, some not. And yeah, the last thing I just want to mention, we are so close to finally finishing one of the Holy Trinity of horror, the Friday the 13th, Halloween, and Nightmare on Elm Street series. We have one Nightmare on Elm Street movie left, which is the remake, and then we have finished all of those movies. So I'm excited for that. That'll be soon.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
The Nightmare on Elm Street remake?
That's the last one we have in the entire franchise, yeah.
And don't we have the fourth Friday the 13th?
We have the fourth Friday the 13th and Jason Takes Manhattan.
Jeez. All right, we're getting there.
So like arguably one of the best ones and then arguably one of the worst ones, but yeah.
All right.
All right, well anyways, let's spin that wheel. That new wheel.
We shall. All right, we'll pull it up. Here we go. Okay, that's random. Mars Attacks.
All right. I mean, hey, I've wanted to cover this one for a long time, so that'll be exciting. And kicking off the new wheel,
Yeah,
Tim Burton's Mars Attacks. Yeah.
let's do it. That'll be fun. Let's make it happen.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you very much for listening into our discussion on the best horror sequels. If you disagree, leave us a comment on YouTube.
Comment. We'll comment back. We'd love
Yeah.
conversation. Please.
Yeah,
Please.
come on. We'll talk. If you disagree or if you have another one, let's go. We'll put our lists up on Twitter and stuff like that so you can fight. Anyways, thank you very much for listening in, and we will see you all next week with Mars Attacks.